what can I say? Another year, another Game Awards. So, The Last of Us Part 2 and the Game Awards. Let's see. So, now we all know that the Game of the Year award is between Ghost of Tsushima and The Last of Us Part 2. And so, for my personal pick, I'll pick Ghost of Tsushima. But for the record, I'll be alright if The Last of Us Part 2 wins the Game of the Year, as long as it does not win the best narrative. Okay, so if you were to compare the two, they will pretty much be the same, except in some key areas where one is better than the others, though in very small margins. So for voice acting, The Last of Us Part 2 is better across the board, whereas for Ghost of Tsushima it's a little below, especially in the side quests, which is quite understandable because unlike The Last of Us Part 2, Ghost of Tsushima is not a linear experience. Then for art direction, they are both very good, though textures in The Last of Us Part 2 are more realistic, also understandable due to its linearity. Then for gameplay, both are really good, and I can't really take anything away. The sword play in Ghost of Tsushima is very good. The melee attack also in The Last of Us Part 2 is also very, very good and revolutionary. Then there is the narrative, which I think Ghost of Tsushima does it better. So the problem I have with The Last of Us Part 2 is that it kind of forgets it was a sequel, and the writers seem to have written the story already, then later put the characters in it. Then so as a result, the characters' behavior does not match how they've initially been developed, either in the previous game or even in this one. And I do understand that characters can change, but then in this case there was nothing leading up to the change of the stages, and it feels fake, and it feels like the behavior that they are now exhibiting was forced upon the characters. Then as for Ghost of Tsushima, it's not suffering from let me say the sequel trauma or something like that, and the characters are now being developed. Plus, at any point, the behaviors of the characters are in line with how they've already been developed. And in the cases where even they deviate from how they've already been developed, there was a substantial explanation or a lead up to that point. And this is where I believe Ghost of Tsushima does it better than The Last of Us Part 2. And since single player games are played mostly for the story, and since the story is what's most important, I think Ghost of Tsushima deserves Game of the Year more than The Last of Us Part 2. And plus, the Ghost of Tsushima is more fun to play compared to The Last of Us Part 2. So, in the end, I believe Ghost of Tsushima should win Game of the Year 2020.